How's everything?
Well, we are alive. We are alive.
Beautiful, beautiful. We'll soon be joined by Kofi Bento, he's a concerned parent, and Petrina Eduse. We'll also be speaking to the concerned PTA Association soon on the show. Let me begin the conversation with your comments. Okay, I had a few on the increment in some of the tariffs, so we'll just go through them quickly. Pajo Big Joe Shoes near Kwadaso Onion Market says Ghana utility tariffs increase again. The PURC have managed to sneak in 3-in-1 tax on consumers the same day: CS tax, electricity tariff increment, and water tariff increment, all effective today. What percentage has their cost of living improved since the beginning of the year? This is coming from Dr. Wait. Bra Otu. I don't. You are giving so many shout outs in this one. I don't know which one your name is. Pardon me. What percentage has your cost of living improved since the beginning of the year? Almost 20% increase in tax without a corresponding increase in salaries and quality service delivery. You did not actually add your name to this one. Okay, a few more comments about what we are discussing this morning. Good morning. I think we are trying to jump the gun because sex education and sexual reproduction education has been with us since ages. The CSE is only an amplified version intended to guide the rights of the child. My regards to Engineer Lai Krowo constituency and Dr. Dumako Case from Sofmami Dome. Kwame Abuaji from Cape Coast says the goal of CSE is to equip young people with age and cultural appropriate information to explore and nurture positive values and attitudes towards their sexual and reproductive health, and to develop self-esteem, respect for human rights, and gender equality. I see Kobe nodding his head at that message. You agree with that thought?
Totally agree with that.
Now, why do you think the CSE has caused so much controversy? And we'll be speaking soon to Alexander Yaodanso, President, National Council of Parent Teacher Associations. Okay, before I come to you though, let's hear the Minister for Education, Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh.
The subject of sexuality education has become a very important matter, particularly for the youth in our societies. Indeed, the changing societal context, characterized by the free flow of information, media pluralism, the social media, has necessitated the need for education systems to provide accurate information of sexuality education. We in Ghana have a guideline that I've shared with you that we see it is imperative, if this nation should develop, that sexuality education should be part of the curricula that we would launch this year in September, all the way from kindergarten to senior high school. Let me congratulate UNESCO and partners for the timely nature of this high-level dialogue among ministers of the four regions: Eastern, Southern Africa, Western, and Central Africa, to shape the discourse and the implementation of comprehensive sexuality education in Africa. Ghana has long recognized sexual and reproductive health education as a conduit for addressing issues affecting the youth in this area, originally provided by elders and other traditional leaders in community. Aspects of reproductive health education were introduced in the school system with the advent of formal education.
And that's Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh. He is the Minister for Education speaking there. A number of people have interpreted this, Kobe, as an endorsement of CSE as a concept and see it as, the takeover of the LGBTQ community. What do you think about this?
I think there are two separate issues, and the conflation of these two separate issues is mostly brought about by the anti-gay movement in Ghana, and I think that is mostly led by Fuamwani. So we see that split happen because they just want something to clutch onto and then push their own agenda. So this has nothing to do with the LGBT situation, has nothing to do with the CSE that we are discussing now.
It doesn't.
It doesn't. It absolutely doesn't. There are some CSEs in other countries which, because they are more progressive and already have established LGBTQ forces in there, would include LGBTQ conversations in their CSE. But then this CSE that has been presented, that the government is trying to push into the curriculum, is culturally appropriate. It looked at, because it was prepared by Ghanaians for Ghanaian teachers, it looked at the cultural situation in Ghana. And so it is extremely silent on and sometimes when I was going through it, I was like, oh, this is very neutral, and in my opinion, non-progressive. But then that's why I was so shocked by the backlash, because I was like, okay, so this document is very neutral. It's very silent on the LGBT situation. So where from the backlash? Where from all the brouhaha? And where from even the mentioning of LGBTQ in the document?
Of course, that parallel has been drawn because of the relation to know it, own it, live it. We'll come to that. But
Yeah.
you would have preferred that it's actually mentioned the LGBTQ situation.
I would have preferred that the students or the kids are sensitized about the varying sexualities, the varying genders, instead of the false dichotomy that we find ourselves teaching kids in Ghana, where we always say, for instance, there's, I think for 7-8-year-olds, they talk about the idea of being a male and being a female, where we know in Ghana they are intersex people. So is that going to be mentioned? Are we going to discuss the various ways in which to become a man, instead of in our cultural biased sense of what it means to be a man? Are we going to be talking about removing some of these stereotypes that we have placed on the ideas of being a man or the ideas of being a woman? Are we going to be teaching kids these ideas or not?
So why is it important to teach kids these ideas?
Well, knowledge is power. You need to equip kids for the future. You need to equip kids for the world around them. And especially like with the way this is structured, in the way it's incrementally adding on to the knowledge, from basic hygiene to, recognizing your body, like learning about your body parts, learning which parts of your body are private, which parts should not be touched. These are key for kids. And you can bear with me that you have news every single day of defilement here, kids being touched inappropriately here, and we know that kids are being groomed in Ghana, by sexual predators. If kids are equipped with this information, it goes to help them in the long run, because then they recognize their bodily autonomy. They recognize that, oh, what is happening to me is wrong. They have all the tools necessary to survive in this world.
There are those who believe that you can teach that without necessarily having to present it as a module like this, as CSE.
Well, the beautiful thing about the way this model is structured is that it's conversational. So it's added, it's integrated into the already existing subjects that we have. So it's not like, oh, you are going to have a CSE time. No. It's added to religious and moral education, something which I wished was scrapped, but it's not. It's added to social studies. It's added to English language studies. So it's like these are modular conversations that have been put into to foster conversations around these topics. So it's not like you are going to class today. Today we are going to learn about. No. It's subliminal, but then it's added to, so that we at least have these conversations with the kids and then equip them.
So it supports the mindset that some people have been seeing, that this is a subtle, subliminal way to introduce things that are outside of our culture into our kids' psyche.
But sex is not outside our culture, is it? That's the problem that we have to recognize, that we are humans. We would have sex. Like, sex is not outside our culture. Sex is not unique to Westerners. Everybody does it. Now, the problems associated with having sex is also not unique. It's also something that we all experience. So talking about sex, teaching kids about sex, how is that not part of our culture? And besides, before we had all these westernized ideas, didn't we have Bragro? Didn't we have Depot? Didn't we have ways of actually introducing sex and sexuality to our kids? We did. And as the minister was saying, with the advent of formal education, we have to find ways and means of presenting these ideas to the kids.
But for 9-year-olds, for 8-year-olds, for 7-year-olds, to be exposed to the kind of information that we are currently seeing in some of these documents endorsed by educational officials, is it not worrying?
It's absolutely not. Look, in my opinion, right, sometimes, like, I was going through the documents and I was worried a bit that some of the topics are coming in a bit late, because I asked this question yesterday of my friends. At what age are kids being molested? At what age are kids being groomed? At what age are kids being inappropriately touched? Now, whatever that age is, you need to prepare them before that age. And it's worrying because you can have kids as young as 1. How are you going to prepare such a kid? So now it's going to boil down to the government viewing this as a public health crisis, implementing a curriculum in which they can try and solve the problem somehow, and then at the same time, parents also taking it upon themselves to start as early, before kindergarten, to introduce their kids to certain, some of these concepts like bodily autonomy, consent. Introduce these topics to them as early as possible, because the predatory world that we live in, you need to be protective of your kids. And this is a government, or this is a society where we are trying to introduce kids as early as possible to these concepts, so that they are aware that these are the dangers of our actions. These are the ways we can protect ourselves. These are the kind of relationships that we can have, and these are the ways we can navigate those relationships.
Is sex education the only way to protect children from predators, sexual predators?
Education is the only way to protect against ignorance.
That doesn't answer my question.
The only way you can protect kids, right? You can inform them, is to educate them. Now, if you inform them, it's some form of protection, because then they know if it happens to them, then they can report. You bear with me that there are some times where you ask a kid what is wrong with you, and then you cannot even name their body parts, like where exactly it's hurting. If they have that information, wouldn't it make diagnosis better? So it's all about giving kids information, providing them with information. And the document is really age appropriate, like hygiene at age 6. What are we talking about?
It's interesting because, at the heart, for the points you made us in empowering children with information, the challenge really is the cultural context within which we are. Information available from the police shows us that sometime in 2015, some 92% of defilement or rape cases were unresolved, or they were unreported. Within our cultural context in the first place, we don't accept the concept of what rape is. So one child having information, it's a far cry from solving the general problem, isn't it?
So in engineering the society that we want to see, right, one of the key tools we have is education. We want to change this culture, this rape culture, this perverse culture that we have. How do we change that culture? It requires educating the public. It requires people being informed, so that moving forward, we can change our attitudes. If we can change the next generation's attitude towards sex, wouldn't that affect the culture of the next generation? So those are the kind of, we have the tools. The tools include education. And why are we not using those tools? We need, if we want that culture to change, if we want defilements to go down, if we want teenage pregnancy to go down, if we want rape cases to go down, we need to be teaching the next generation about consent. We need to be teaching them about preventing teenage pregnancies. We need to teach them about themselves and defilement, respecting each other. We need to be teaching them all of these things. We need to teach them empathy.
At what age?
As early as possible. And then again, it's graded. So it's age appropriate. So if you are 5 years old, you are 4 years old, we are going to teach you about hygiene, cleanliness. You are 6 years old, we are going to teach you more about hygiene, cleanliness, maybe oral hygiene, how to take care of yourself. 7 years old, then we now feel that, okay, you can understand this concept. So let's teach you about your body. 8-year-old now. So it's extremely age appropriate. Some of the things that are even taught when you are 15, I'm like, oh, we can even bring it down a bit and start teaching kids in junior high about it, like equality of the sexes and all of those of those topics are treated in senior high. Gender discrimination, all of that are treated in senior high. I'm like, okay, why don't we, by senior high, wouldn't the damage already have been done from society and from family? Shouldn't the education be a bit younger? But then people are complaining about this being too progressive.
It's 8 minutes to the top of the hour. You're still live on the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM. My guest in studio is an engineer. He's the president of the Humanist Association of Ghana. Kobna Entry Buesiako. It's Kwabna Entry Buesiako, pardon me. I just got a text from a listener. He says the 4-year the 4-year milestone project supported by the West African Health Organization WAHO, UNESCO, Marie Stopes International Ghana MSIGGES is to provide content with an approach that does not only empower but prepares the youth effectively to quote enjoy their sexuality in a healthy, safer, and in a responsible manner as they make informed decisions. Isn't it a one-sided view if you look at it from simply a protection of people from predators standpoint?
No, it's also about information. It's also about cultural, social engineering. It's about asking the question: what future do we want for our country? What future do we want for Ghana? And how do we equip the next generation so that we can be able to move towards that future?
So what future do you think this creates for Ghana?
A future where there's more informed, there's a more informed generation. There's a generation where they understand consent, they are more sensitive to gender issues. Basically,
a generation where they can enjoy their sexuality in a healthy, safer, and responsible manner.
Exactly, in a healthy, safer manner. The problem is, and I like what the minister said, and again, he's not the first person to say this. We are in an information world where there's a lot of information. That said, that also means that there's a lot of bad information out there. The only way you can get the right information to the kids is through the classroom. Because outside the classroom, you cannot control what information gets to the kids.
It's 5 minutes to the top of the hour. This is the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM. Kobe Nchibwe is my guest in studio. We'll soon be joined by Kofi Bento. He's a private legal practitioner. And Petrina Eduse will also be joining us. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
When times are hard, when you're stressed and down, GT Bank is here to lift you up again. But no matter who you are, no matter where you are, quick credit's got instant cash that's just for you. Sort out your bills and support your business anytime you need it. Just get it by dialing star 737 star 0 hash. Star 737 star 0 hash. Star 737 star 0 hash.
Borrow up to 100% of your salary and pay within 30 days at an incredible interest rate of 2%. Get instant cash in 2 minutes or less with no paperwork, no collateral, no banking hold. Simply dial star 737 star 0 hash to get started. Guarantee Trust Bank. Wouldn't you rather bank with us?
Ma, please give me your phone. Let me make a quick call.
So you're still on that network that gives you fair data and talk time, where Vodafone has double the Red 1, Red 2, and Red 5 offers. For 5 CDs, Chikra. You get 250 minutes to call all networks, 250 megabytes data, and more.
I'm moving to Vodafone today.
Switch to Vodafone to enjoy double Intuswar on red bundles of 1, 2, and 5 CDs. Enjoy double talk minutes to call all networks and double data to browse. Vodafone always gives you more. Dial star 200 hash to subscribe now. Terms and conditions apply.
The future is exciting. Ready? Comfort, durability, finishing, quality. Choosing sofas and beds for your home, office, or hotel couldn't be easier with an exclusive range of sofas and beds in various designs and colors from Latex Foam. There is so much choice, whatever your budget. Latex Foam, your partner for life.
Enjoy fast, affordable, and dependable 4G service in Accra and Tema, in your office, home, or on the go. Contact Telesol today on 0302 221 658 or 9 or 0303 975 342 or more, or our website telesol4g.com, or send us an email through enquiry@telesol4g.com. Telesol 4G, just a touch.
Hello, I am Michael.
and I run the shop just down the road from your house. You know, the one you always come to when you need things like milk, sugar, gari, and other things. I'm also your cow bank agent with whom you can do all your banking transactions. So the next time you visit my shop to get anything, just remember that you can now open your cow bank snap account right here. Make cash deposits and withdrawals, transfer funds, and also pay your bills easily. All you need to open an account is any valid national ID and your fingerprint. Just look out for your cow bank agent in your neighborhood, or look out for any registered cow bank agent sign and enjoy easy banking with cow bank agent banking. Contact us toll free on 0800 500 500 or visit www.cowbank.net for more information. Cow Bank Agent Banking, your neighborhood bank.
How bank forward together.
Are you tired of driving around just to find a travel agent? Or are you that person who calls your travel agent only to hear the phone say,
Okay, sorry, we don't close. You feel call us tomorrow for booking.
or you be that person where they make last-minute travel arrangements? Don't worry no more, because Malcolm Travels gives you the opportunity at your own convenience to make your own travel bookings anywhere, anytime, 24/7. Oh yeah, at Malcolm Travels, we give you the best travel deals anytime, anywhere on your mobile phone. Charlie, the days of Wahala and late travel bookings are over. Jack, what are you waiting for? Just log on to www.malcolmtravels.com and make your own bookings now. Malcolm Travels, booking anytime, anywhere at your own convenience. Just log on www.malcolmtravels.com.
In partnership with Joy FM, the National Theatre, Government Productions presents Animal White Play, Not My Husband.
We will need you to donate some blood for her. Oh, gladly.
Please test his blood first. He has HIV/AIDS.
Ha! Then you gave it to me.
So have you forgotten that when you married me, I was a virgin? I don't have AIDS.
A virgin, you say? Have you forgotten that on our honeymoon, when you stripped, there was echo everywhere, and darkness had covered the face of the deep, and the wind was blowing. I say, hey, Manso, where are you? I am here. Yeah! Virgin indeed.
Not My Husband shows on 5th, 6th, 12th, and 13th October at the National Theatre. Rate 80 Ghana cedis. Time 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. Tickets available via short code *713*15# or *876*876# or visit Joy FM and all usual outlets. Sponsors: Bond Savings and Loans, Old Mutual, and Passion Air. Official ticketing partner, Ticket House. Buy your tickets now.
2 minutes past 8. This is the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM. Daniel Dazi here. Kobe and Chiwesiako of the Humanist Association is my guest this morning. AI in Tema says being knowledgeable is good, understanding knowledge is important. Right application of knowledge is wisdom. Why import knowledge when all our competitors, China, Korea, Malaysia, have succeeded in developing homegrown modules for their societies? We're importing anything and everything. Why should others think for us and guide us in how to develop our society? If it has no latent agenda, why the rainbow colors? Let us think for ourselves. AI in Tema. Good morning, Daniel. This is Shem from Pram Pram. Is sex intended for kids? Why understand something meant for adulthood, thus marriage? When did we Ghanaians become this naive? Let's educate them about governance, well, so they can join us to vote. We need a generation of tolerance for all sexualities. We need women who are not afraid to go to work for fear of sexual harassment. We need CSE education. Rosalind. Big Stories is brought to you by Guarantee Trust Bank. Wouldn't you rather bank with us? Vodafone, the future is exciting, ready, and Latex Phone, your partner for life. With quick credits, you can borrow up to 100% of your monthly salary at only 2% interest rate for 30 days at GT Bank. Simply dial *737*0#, select payday credit, agree to the terms and conditions, enter and confirm your PIN, and pronto, the requested amount will be credited to your GT Bank account instantly. Just dial *737*0# now to access quick credits if you are a salaried GT Bank customer. Switch to GT Bank today to enjoy this and other amazing services. Quick credits, instant cash anytime, anywhere. Contact GT Bank on 0302 611 560 or toll free 0800 124 000 for more information. T's and T's apply. Guarantee Trust Bank. Wouldn't you rather bank with us? And send money to your family and friends for free on Ghana's most secure mobile money operator, Vodafone Cash. There's absolutely no charge when you send money from Vodafone Cash to Vodafone Cash. Just dial *110# to send money on Vodafone Cash today and enjoy this amazing offer. Vodafone Cash, always safe and secure. Vodafone, the future is exciting. Ready? It's 4 minutes past 8. I'm going to go straight to the phone lines and speak with Petrina Eduse, a concerned parent. Good morning, Petrina.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good, Petrina. I hope you are as well. So, what's your reaction to what you're hearing in studio so far? We have Kobe and Chibesiako in studio who believes, look, this is much ado about nothing. Our children should be empowered with information.
Well, the thing is, I was looking at the document, and at face value, it looks really good on paper, right? But then now when you're translating paper into practicality, if I should say that, that's where the issue comes into play. I was looking, first and foremost, I think one of my major concerns is the hygiene, at the age 5 years. Now, I believe in teaching that to children, but my concern is why is this tied to a sex education class? Hygiene should be taught irrespective of these things. So we don't want a situation where now people are associating the fact that they have to keep themselves clean as they go on, because if there's a continuity in the class, hygiene is now related to sexual practice, which I don't think that connection should be made anyway. I think that it's very important to equip us with the knowledge that we need out there. I think it will help reduce certain cases of molestation, situations where people don't have enough information to be able to report. They don't know what their rights are. So yes, I believe that it will have an impact. The question is, how well prepared are we for this? Those who are going to be doing the educating, the teachers, do they themselves buy or understand these concepts? Are we going to train them? When we say gender roles, when we say things like religion and social values, how are you going to teach that? What is the relationship between that and teaching sex education or reproductive health? So I see a few things in there that are of concern to me, but I think if the proper review is done, I think this thing can actually make a very big impact, have a very big impact on.
What do you have in mind in terms of reviewing the content?
I think you said something very important, cultural roles and values. So as a culture in general, the discussion of sex, maybe it's gradually changing, but it's still a bit of an issue. And so certain parents might think, it's too early to have discussions about that. I saw a news clip that someone had said they are bringing in things into our society that don't exist. Unfortunately, that is not true. People are talking about sex at a very early age. Unfortunately, very young children are being subjected to abuse. And so what I believe is that before this thing goes forward, right, training should be a big part of this. Those who are going to be doing the teaching and the educating need to be trained on the topics. If the topics need to be reviewed, in terms of religion, we have different religions within the nation. So sex and reproductive health education needs to go on regardless of what a person's religion is. So I'm not sure why that is in there.
There are sections of the and let me just put this caveat in before I bring this question in that we have seen in the green document, the guidelines for comprehensive sexuality education, that one of the references is a rainbow colored document that's know it, own it, and live it. So what we don't know is how much of the big documents we are going to see when things reach the classroom. Right now, in that document, we see that as young as 11 and 12-year-old children are going to be taught on how to, females are going to be taught how to put condoms on males, removing them without spilling semen. I mean, pardon my language if you find this sensitive, but you think this is okay for your kids to learn at 12 and 11?
Personally, I am concerned about that. However, if there's research backing the need to teach 11-year-olds this, so have they done research in our nation to see that people at this age are actually, there's a large majority that is engaging in this? What is the basis of teaching them at such an early age? So if there's scientific evidence or there's research evidence out there that they have done properly, that states that as early as 11, these things are happening. Because mind you, kids that age have cell phones, have access to iPads, YouTube, and some of the stuff that they see. I believe that the concern is legitimate about teaching them that early. However, do we have enough evidence stating that as Ghanaians, not as a whole, but as Ghanaians as a people, this is something that should be taught at that age?
Now, of course, we have a legitimate issue of children, young girls being forced into marriage here in Ghana, which is a legitimate cultural issue, which some would argue stretches beyond, and let me bring in Kobe on this one. I mean, teen marriage stretches beyond just kids knowing about it, doesn't it? This is about their parents willfully selling them into some of these marriages. Isn't that predominantly where we find young people in Ghana engaging in this?
No. What the research shows, and what on the face of it, right? You would find that a lot of teenage pregnancy is between uninformed young girls and older men, and that's where you see a lot of these things happening. So CSE comes in to play the role of informing these women or these young adults about their bodily autonomy, about consent, and about ways of protecting themselves from getting pregnant. And this is where it's important that we stress the need for sex education to the teens.
Which research?
I'm talking about on the face of it, right?
Okay.
On the face of it.
Okay, on the face of it.
Most teenage pregnancies is between teenagers and older guys. A lot of the problems and a lot of the things that we talk about is about relationship between teachers themselves or people in power and students, where you see teachers taking advantage of students or people with older or with a bit more power, playing or preying on the younger girls, and that is always a problem. So CSE comes in to empower the girls and let them know about their options, let them know who to report to, where to report, what are the things that they can do if they want to engage in sex to protect themselves against getting pregnant.
Yeah.
Can I? Sorry.
Oh, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm. Thank you for advocating for women, but I believe that besides the teenage pregnancy piece, it's teenagers across the board, both the males and the females. Let me share something interesting with you. I was in my late 20s in grad school when I found out that apparently if you are interested in engaging in sexual activity with your partner, even if you instigate it, even if you initiate it, you are involved in it, at any point in time, male or female, in that process, if you say no, I don't want to proceed with this, right? You haven't done anything wrong. If the person proceeds, even if you initiated the sexual encounter to begin with, once you say no, when they say no means no, that's what they mean. It really does mean no. Yeah. Even right before the point of penetration, if the man says I'm done or the woman says no, it shouldn't continue.
Exactly.
I didn't know this. So
and would you have loved to know this when you were in senior high?
Exactly. So
or junior high?
I would have absolutely loved to know this. So this is one of the things that I think is good about this guideline or this.
Thank you.
But Petrina, the question is that at what age should your kids get to know it, and how should your kids be introduced to it? Should your kids be given condom wearing tutorials in the classroom?
Where would they learn it otherwise? It's just a question. I guess I'm being Ghanaian and answering a question with a question. But
that's what Jesus used to do. Kobe,
so I just want to say that the classroom is a controlled environment, right? So it's the best place to learn these stuff, because I know for sure that parents are not willing to do it, because our generation, some parents, but our generation never got to sit down with our parents to talk about the birds and the bees. So if the educational system can find a way in a controlled manner to get these important facts to the kids, we should be applauding it.
If this generation, Petrina, were to accept these very graphic methods and in the words of some, normalize such behavior among children, where do we think we are graduating to next?
I have okay.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. You go ahead, please.
Yeah, I have been asking this question myself about the general population. We've been teaching corruption in schools since the dawn of time. We still live in a corrupt country. The correlation between introducing concepts in class and then students, automatically picking them up and then going out to practice them, I don't see it. What I rather see is that with information, it's less likely that they will indulge in any of the negative activities, because then we are presenting them with the consequences of their actions. You are letting them know that if you do this, this is what is going to happen.
Petrina, would you agree?
So the thing is that I guess the concern that we have is, okay, you're introducing this to them early. Are we saying that by teaching them this, kids who are not under normal circumstances inclined to engage in sexual activity will begin because they are taught this in class?
That's the question that most parents are asking.
I think in this case, then, as a mental health counselor myself, yes, I believe in a holistic approach to whatever it is you do. Parents also need to be part of the process. So if my child is taught at 11 years or at JSS how to put on a condom, as to whether or not she'll go ahead and do it, at that point he or she is at an age where they can make that choice for themselves. But also parents have a role to play in that, right? Because there are certain things that we are taught in school that when we go home doesn't go along with what our family values are. So the parents have a part to play in it. I think that it will help to reduce incidences of teenage pregnancy. STDs are on the rise. I think it's a step in the right direction. I think where parents are concerned is where they need to do work with their own children at home, right? To let them know, if you believe that they should be abstinent at that point, this is what they are teaching you, but then you need to stay away from it. So that's the role the parents will play. More importantly, like I said before, how are the teachers or the educators being trained to teach these topics?
Right.
So it's a combined effort. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, so I agree with you. The training is very, very, very important. And I think from some of the documents I've seen, or some of the things that I've flashed, the government is working on training, and some teachers have been trained, but it's still ongoing. As to the results, we would have to wait and see. Also, about research, the document, like there's been a lot of local content involved in creating this document. Like everything that was done, the document was prepared by Ghanaian educators, professors, doctors. The research mostly done by Ghanaians with references to external research that has been done. In creating this model, we've looked at models that have worked elsewhere, and then we've tried to make it culturally appropriate. So there's been a lot of work that has been done on this document. Now it's time for the implementation. What we have to do is, in implementing any policy, there has to be a back and forth. We need to implement it, see where the gaps are, and then step in. But then to prevent it from being, from us from starting the process in the first place, to me is where I find ridiculous. So I agree with you. We need to implement it, but then again, we also need to keep an eye on it, because there are some of the models, like you said, I find weird, like absurd. What are they doing in this CSE program? Yes, the hygiene part, we can say, because it's not actually CSE, it's supposed to be comprehensive sexuality and reproductive health studies. So it's like maybe there's a health aspect to it. That's why they are bringing in the hygiene. So yeah, I'm like, okay, let's wait and see how that looks like. And so yeah, let's wait and see for now. Let's see how the program plays out. And with some of them being in, again, with the values aspect of the whole program, we have CSE in religious and moral education. This should be a purely public health matter. There's no need for us to bring in religion when it comes to this. And besides, what will be presented is, and the title of the model is, I believe, what we believe. why are we teaching kids what to believe rather than,
Yes.
Good
point.
Empowering them to question beliefs? It's ridiculous. But then again, let's just wait and see. And then if there's any review, we can, as concerned citizens, as concerned parents, we can, get back to the government and go like, review this part, look at this part. Maybe this part is not working. Maybe this part needs to be more progressive, etc.
But let me just also add.
Right.
I think one of the reasons why we are having this conversation today is because of concerned parents and citizens out there.
Yes.
And how early children are being exposed to this type of information. Like I said, I work in mental health, and a lot of parents are in denial about how much their children know. I know people till date, starting from my era and even before, who were sexually molested at a very young age. This is like way before the JSS level, and till date haven't told their parents about it. Right?
Yeah.
And so, in as much as there's fear, which is understandable, or there's concern, which is understandable, parents also need to understand that the world we live in is not a friendly world. Young girls, young boys need to know that this is where it's okay for people to touch me, and this is where it's not okay, regardless of the power that they have. Right? They need to know what is considered sexual activity. So, for instance, if someone rubs their genitals against me, it's not rape.
Yeah.
Is it something that I should go and report? Yes, absolutely it is. So, like what we just heard, I guess basically it is, let's watch. If there are any issues, let's hold the implementers accountable. If there's any revision that needs to be done, then it should be.
Okay, thanks. Petrina, Kobe has a comment. I'll allow him to make that when we come back. It's 20 minutes past 8. I'm just going to take a quick break now. When we come back, there's more. This is the Super Morning Show. We are discussing comprehensive sexuality education. A number of you do not agree with some of my guests. I'll open the phone lines very shortly. We'll also be joined by Kofi Bentil very soon. Stay with us.
In a world where everything is changing around you, sometimes you need to turn to someone you can trust. You want to move with a change in safe hands, and we are here to help. At Societe Generale Ghana, we understand change because we have transformed and evolved. No matter how our name may change, 43 years of retail and corporate banking expertise never changes, ensuring stability and trust. Digital innovation as the world moves forward to help you adapt, upgrade, and keep up. Bank with Societe Generale Ghana and enjoy doing your banking your way, whenever you choose. In our digital zones with cutting-edge digital banking products and quality services, you deserve a better bank and great rewards. We agree, the world only moves because you make it move. SG Ghana, the future is you.
Okay, our last caller is on the line.
Hi, Mr. Presenter. I don't understand how I take out my own money to buy credit. Then when I buy it, the people say I have to use it by a certain time. Otherwise, they will take it away. I mean, how? I should be able to keep it as long as I want. At the end, it's only expiry. It's not about.
All right, thank you. Now let's take a message from our sponsors.
Switch to Airtel Tigo. Get Fuse, the only call and data bundle with no expiry. So time no be problem. Call all networks and browse with Airtel Tigo Fuse. Dial *567# to bundle.
Airtel Tigo. Life is simple.
Download app, get it right. Do your business with pleasure. Yango, affordable. Yango, let's go. With 2 Ghana cities, the shortest possible distance. Yango, oh yeah. Let's go. Yango, so just get it right and feel so good with Yango.
Yango, let's go.
You are special in your way. It's me, like no other. No one else can do it like you. It's me. I can play the drum. I can sing. I can dance. I'm talented. I can draw. I can be myself. With Indomie.
Here's to all amazing moms who identify and nurture the uniqueness in our kids.
Indomie instant noodles. Tastes great. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
It's
Are you a professional in the built environment? Are you constructing, renovating, or remodeling your property? Are you looking for the best building materials? Then visit the 17th International Building, Construction, and Property Exhibition, a one-stop shop where the latest products, services, and technologies are showcased by top local and international brands. Date 3rd, 5th of October 2019. Venue International Conference Center, Accra. Time 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. each day. There will be a construction forum and the first City Construction and Property Awards on Friday, 4th of October 2019 at the International Conference Center. The construction week is under the auspices of Ministry of Works and Housing in collaboration with all building professionals. Proudly sponsored by Bank of Africa, Permafix, Sea Woman, Fox Fooling, B5 Plus, KNAF, Azar Paint, High Flow, Atlantic Climate, X Natural Mineral Water, and Advantage Austria. Admission for visitors is free. For more information, call us on 0244 312 499.
Health is life, oh. If you play around with yours or your child's, it will cost you, papa. Everybody's going to tell you what to try, which could be far from the cure. But listen, whenever you or your child experience symptoms like feverishness, headache, and sweating, first, you need to test for malaria at the nearest pharmacy or health facility. And if confirmed positive for malaria, then the ACT, which is proven to fight malaria effectively, will be prescribed. One must do well to complete the full 3-day course of dosage. If test proves negative, further investigation should be done. Let's be serious with fighting malaria. Do the right thing.
Let's come together and drive malaria away for good life. This advert is brought to you by the Ministry of Health and Ghana Health Service.
My name is Kwame Sefakai, and most of you know me as a media personality, but I am also a family man. The UMB mobile banking app, UMB Speed App, saves me so much time by letting me do almost all of my banking transactions on my phone. The cardless withdrawal feature allows me to withdraw cash from any UMB ATM without an ATM card. I can also pay bills, transfer money, request for a loan, invest money, and so much more. So now, I can spend less time at the bank and more time with the ones I love. Bank anywhere and anytime with a UMB mobile banking app, UMB Speed App, and get the time to do what you love most. Download the UMB Speed App from your Android, iOS, or Windows phone today. Call 0302-633-988 for more information. UMB Speed App, Digibank, let's go!
ShopRite's Extra Big Birthday celebration is now on, and we are celebrating with extra big savings, extra big deals, and extra low prices. Like 125 ml tub of Eleve fruit yogurt assorted, only 5 Ghana cedis, 99 pesos. Save 1 Ghana cedi, and 1.3 kilogram of Sadia whole frozen chicken, just 17 Ghana cedis, 99 pesos. Save 1 Ghana cedi. Valid until 6th October. Don't miss the extra big celebration where you can save big with our extra big birthday only at ShopRite. Lower prices you can trust always. Plus, you could win big with our extra big birthday scratch and win competition. Buy any 3 participating products, get a scratch card, and you could win your share of over 100,000 Ghana cedis in scratch card prizes. Competition ends on 6th October. T&C supply.
Coffee in your cup and Joy on the set. The Super Morning Show is always the best bet on Joy 99.7 FM.
27 minutes past 8. Thanks for staying with us. This is the Super Morning Show. Comprehensive sexuality education. Or like I like to call it this morning. We are having a comprehensive conversation on sexuality in our education. Kobe Enchiwesiak of the Humanist Association is my guest. Kofi Bentel has joined us in studio. The concerned parents, private legal practitioner Petrina Edusa is on the phone lines. We'll soon be joined by the Association of PTAs across the country. But Telisol offers the fastest internet experience on 4G in the country with coverage in Accra, Tamahoko, Kofuri, Takrady, and Bolgatanga. For the youth, Telisol has Telisol Wave bundles designed to cater for youth lifestyle, starting from as low as 2 cedis, 50 pesos. Telisol has 4G internet service to meet business, home, and on-the-go needs. This is 4G data not only on your phone and handheld devices, but also extended for use in offices and homes. Can you believe that? Telisol 4G for everyone. Now, Telisol Fiber Broadband. Telisol has fiber broadband services for homes and offices at affordable rates with varied speeds, unlimited and bundled data options. Do you live at Airport Residential Area, Laboni, Rich, Cantonment, Jolu, and other locations? Call Telisol to find out about your area and service availability. Call Telisol today on 0303-975-342 or 344, or send us an email on inquiry at telisol4g.com. Telisol, just a touch. Let me quickly go on the phone lines and allow Petrina to give us her final words. Petrina, so finally on the subject from you.
Yes, so what I'll do is I would like to address parents out there. Everyone's situation or family dynamic is different, but the main issue, it has to do with our discomfort with the topic and think about how reluctant you are even as a parent to speak about it. But there are certain parents who, if they knew that conversations with their kids may have prevented certain things happening to them, would want to be able to turn back time and give them this information, equip them. So I think try and set your fear aside. Try and understand that the children know more than they do and more than you did at their age. And let's actually critique this bill and how do I say it? Support the government and the educators in making it the best policy it's supposed to be. So, yeah.
Thank you very much, Petrina Edusei. She's a concerned parent. We'll also be speaking to the PTA, the national PTA, very shortly. But Kofi Benson is with us in the studio. So you heard Petrina's final message.
Yes,
let's set fear aside. Let's embrace this and make input as we can.
That's a perfect world. And I think a lot of this dialogue, yes, is situated a bit in fear, but the fear is founded. All right, the fear is founded.
On what?
On a lot, and I hope we have time to go into it. So let's just get this thing clear. This CSE thing is not new.
Mm-hmm.
It's been around the world for a number of years. CSE is a Trojan horse. We have a little time, so I'll use these analogies. It's a Trojan horse. It looks like one thing, but everywhere it's been experienced, it's something else ultimately. A Trojan horse comes into your compound and looks like a toy or something like that. But there's something inside, and it comes out later. Even in permissive USA, even in Canada, permissive countries where you can't insult somebody for their sexual choices, okay, they've had huge problems. Now, I don't have a problem with sex education. I don't have a problem with biology, but let me be clear on this one. And again, a little time and a little check will show people a lot. I came to it that way, okay? There is a difference between biology, teaching people about body parts. That is different from sex education, which I don't have a problem with. Teaching people about the sexually sensitive parts of your body and what to do, what not to do, and some of those things you can teach kids. It's not all of that you must teach kids. Then there is sexuality education. That's different. That has to do mostly with choices. Okay? Then there is comprehensive sexuality education, which is more persuasive if you read the literature. I spent my weekend going through this. I have a friend who has been debating me all the time on this for a number of days. He just sent me a message and said, look, I went to read and I am now convinced about your position. The more you go into the detail, you understand that comprehensive sexuality education is not just teaching children how to avoid rape. All right? It is more about persuading people first to be accepting of alternative sexual lifestyles. And two, and this is where the problem is, to remove the dissonance they feel, okay, in their own choices and exploration of those alternative lifestyles. That is where the problem is.
When you say alternative lifestyles?
Look, in California, they are putting out 13 different choices. You can be a man, you can be a woman, you can have sex with a woman and a man, and you can do it together.
For gender, 13 different gender choices.
Gender and sexual choices. And the point is this. You see, the fact that people are doing it does not mean you should teach my child to accept it. And I've broken down 4 things. Biology, sex education, no trouble. Even sexuality education, teaching people about these things. I have no problem with the choices people make. In fact, check all the history. Every time we've had problems with sexual choices, I have defended the people who make those other choices. Okay, I've had my arguments with...
Which is why I'm personally surprised at your position.
Exactly, because I come to these things myself and carefully. So I'm saying, make your choices. But when you move from sexuality education, where you're telling people, well, people make these choices, this comprehensive sexuality education is a brand. It was cooked up by IPPF, Mary Stopes and Co., and they've been pushing it across the world. And go into that brand. That's why I call it a Trojan horse. First, they dress it like something. They dress it like sex education. They dress it like what my brother here is talking about helping people to avoid this. Note something. No kid is capable. No kid is capable of ultimately defending themselves from pedophiles and rapists. That is societal and parental. You can teach them whatever. We've not stopped stealing by teaching people stealing. And you said it. We've not stopped corruption by teaching people corruption. I have taught my kids and I've raised other people and taught them everything. But a pedophile will attract your kid with just candy. Enforcement has a role to play in that. And when we are giving education, we should be careful giving education that makes these kids more accepting of these things. We should teach them nobody should touch this, and if they touch that, this is how you react. Okay? And if you read the literature on comprehensive sexuality education, you mentioned, and we don't have the time to go into it, they talk about people enjoying their sexuality. Okay, if you go into all kinds of things, they talk about things that suggest, and I don't want to be graphic this morning, things about masturbation, how it's acceptable, and basically say that people are making these choices so you can also make these choices. We need to be clear-eyed about this. You don't look at a Trojan horse and say it's a toy. The problem is what's in there. All right. And look, Ghana, we've adopted this thing, and I don't know why people, do these things sometimes. I think sometimes they don't read it well. Okay. But look, we are not unique. You can't tell us that our brand of comprehensive sexuality education is going to be different from what they tried in California, from what they tried in
Why not?
Canada. Because it's a global brand. It's come across many countries. They've been fighting it all over the place. Just Google it. Okay, and the same people who are behind this thing all over the world are the same people behind it here. IPPF, Mary Stopes, and Co. And the documentation you are reading is the same thing they are using. Let me tell you something. Our GES says, it is not the know-it-all and whatever thing that they are talking about.
No, it's only
Our
village.
ministers have adopted that document. That is number one. You need to be very clear about it. Look, I'll give it to the GES that they are backing down on the use of that document. We need to appreciate the little successes we get when we get them.
Mm-hmm.
But we need to be clear that one, CES is a brand and it means something. We have adopted CES in the GES manual. That is number one. Number two, there is only one document that goes into the detail about what the content of CES education and curriculum should be, and that is the know-it-all document. So using the
we are
brand
being
name,
told by UNFPA that they are now developing content for Ghana.
the content is there. You've seen it in black and white. It's been developed. Now they are telling us, we are going to do something that is culturally acceptable to Ghana. My point is we are not naive. And I like the fact that the GES is making a clear statement that this is not the document we are going to use. We will watch them. Because you see, I have come to the point I can't trust people to make decisions for my kids, not even their teachers. All right? And we need to be very wide-eyed about this. And look, for whatever it's worth, we should learn from the experiences of other people. Look, as far as I'm concerned, if you're going to just do sex education, and you talked about things like hygiene, and those things are proper, teach them. But you don't conflate hygiene with sex, comprehensive sexuality. Sexuality is different from sex education. And we need to be clear. Look, and then you're going to hand this to 200,000 teachers. Okay, and then I'm saying the only detailed document is that know-it-all document. Now you're going to develop stuff. What is wrong with all the stuff that we've done in the past? If we need to improve them here and there, that is fine. But let's be clear that we have adopted something which has been going around the world. We've had seminars here where ministers have stood there and Google what Barbara did in 2017.
February 2,
adopting
2017.
the actual document we are talking about. Yes, so please, if they are backing down on it, that's all well and good. That's what the listening government does. Okay, but what they must understand is that, look, this is one of the things that nobody is going to back down on. And they should be careful how they handle this.
Are we not putting the cart before the horse? Because all we have here are guidelines that show broad topics of what will be taught.
Well, the name is guidelines. Read from page 10 downwards. And when you start reading from page 10, you understand that, look, this is a shell. And like I keep saying, it is a Trojan horse. It says I'm going to teach people, this, and I'm going to teach them that, and I'm going to teach them that. What is the detail of that? Okay, here are kids who are struggling with math and English. If it is about teaching them something new, and by the way, let's make the point clear. Giving them that information does not guarantee that they are not going to be at risk of, pedophiles and whatever. Some of the teachers are the pedophiles themselves. What we have to do is do more in terms of enforcement and do more physically, do more things to secure our children. In places, there are cameras in classrooms. All right. So we should be clear about that. And then when you give guidelines and you don't give details, I have seen videos of Ghanaian teachers, teaching horrendous stuff about sexual education. I don't even call it CSE. Somebody sent me a video yesterday mentioning all kinds of things, and it was just crude.
Really? Things like what?
Oh, please, you're morning radio. I can send you the video. All right. So my worry is in the detail. And I'm saying that, look, when all these issues come up and people are describing the Trojan horse, look at what's inside and what the intention is.
Okay. Kofi Benson is our guest in studio. He just joined us 21 minutes at the top of the hour. He's made a number of statements, Kofi. I want to give you the opportunity to. He says that what you have been saying since you started the show is just a small bit of a Trojan horse.
You see, we can know, as you said, sometimes we want to put the cart before the horse. And then we go about spinning conspiracy theories. And it becomes a problem because once you go down that rabbit hole, there's no knowing where you come out from. And so as concerned citizens, as concerned parents, I understand where he's coming from. I understand that, you'd want to be careful what is fed to your child. I get that. However, if that would lead you down a rabbit hole, I would ask that you pull back a bit, gain some perspective. The perspective is this, that as a global community, we understand that the public health issues that we find in Ghana, if we don't take care of it, it translates across our borders. So if we don't teach our children about consent, our children will cross the borders to the United States where their kids are taught about consent. And then you find you hear cases all the time where African young men go there and then they are accused of rape because they don't understand that the level of consent being taught there is higher and probably more in-depth than we are taught here. So treating this as a public health problem, nations come together. The United Nations, all the countries come together and say, okay, what can we as a community of nations do? What are the steps we can take? Let's put together some guidelines. Then let's sign up to these guidelines. Now, these are guidelines. As to how they'll be implemented, right, it becomes country-specific. The way the Danes do their CSE is different from, and even more comprehensive than the way the United States does its CSE. The United States is, for lack of a better word, an extremely puritanical country. So even though you think, they have gay rights, they are still extremely backwards when it comes to sex education and consent and all of that. So the way, for instance, the Danes, the Dutch, the Scandinavian countries will treat CSE will be way different. And then their results will feed into the global data of modules that work. So what we have to do and what this document shows is that we have looked at modules and now we are saying, okay, there are some modules that work, there are some conversations that work. Now let's add some cultural perspective to it and then present it. I understand his fears. It's very uncomfortable talking to kids about sex. I'm sure, Kofi, you've been able to have these conversations with your kids, and I'm sure you weren't very comfortable.
No. It wasn't a problem at all.
It wasn't a problem.
And there are different ways to do it. And by the way, because you bring it up,
yeah.
Look, it's not everything that a school must teach your child. So you need to be very clear about that. It's not everything a school must teach your child. And there are things that you are better off handling yourself, okay? You may not even have explicit conversations about sexuality with your children per se. But there are cues, there are little things. I've raised 4 solid daughters. They are all very well adjusted, okay? It's never been difficult because you find a way within the family setting to bring them up in a certain way that's fine. And on the point of teaching people consent, etc., absolutely. We need to teach our boys, teach our girls consent, where things stop, that kind of thing. You can do that absolutely without going into persuasions okay, that go to make them more accepting
Okay.
of alternative lifestyles.
Okay, I have two questions for Kofi on the points you made. Number one, when you say it's not everything a school must teach your child, what about those children who are not from those homes where they can learn these things? Where do they learn them?
There will always be that problem. People from, bad homes, etc. So there's a lot that schools must do, which is why I'm accepting that biology, sex education, hygiene, and all those things, that's fine. But when it crosses the line into more or less trying to condition them to be accepting of what is not normal.
Which is where my next question is.
Right.
You've drawn the line on three categories: sex education, sexual, and then sexuality. So what is sexuality and how different is it from the sex education that Kobe is talking about?
So see, sex education is teaching about your body as a sex tool or parts of your body as sexually sensitive. And that's what you teach. You can teach things like abstinence. You can teach things like puberty. And when you talk about bra growing, in our culture, we do these things when they reach puberty. All right? So these things are objective. You teach them. When you go to sexuality, you start introducing issues of choices. Start introducing things that are more subjective in different ways, all right? And then when they added the comprehensive, and I'm saying the comprehensive CSE is a brand, okay? You can have the ordinary meaning of comprehensive, but when you put comprehensive and sexual and education together, and you Google it and you read about it, somebody put that thing deliberately together. It's a model, and we know where it came from. We know what's in there. We know how it's been rolled out, and we know what has happened. So comprehensive sexuality education more has to do with the persuasive aspects of this whole thing, and it has to do first with introducing them to the 13 different choices people can make, and then number two, trying to condition them so that they don't have this dissonance dealing with it. I don't have a problem telling people that, look, there are some people who make choices that you don't agree with. I have no issue working with them, dealing with them, respecting them, as long as you don't push your stuff on me.
Hold on.
So let me finish.
Okay.
So we need to first appreciate the fact that there's a difference in these things, because when people are explaining CSE, they go back to explain sex education. They go back to talk about hygiene. They go back to talk about the things that are proper. Okay, but I'm saying there's something in that Trojan horse, and that's why it's CSE, that's why it's been fought all over the place. So first thing, a Trojan horse should not be described by how it looks. It should be described by what is inside it and what will ultimately come out of it.
I'll give Kobe a minute to respond, and then we have another guest in studio, so we'll introduce her as well.
Yeah.
Kobe.
I just want to point out this, that you keep bringing up stuff that are happening in the United States. They have a different culture. Therefore, their documents, their module will be different. The Danes will have the Danes will not have the 13 different whatever you are talking about. They will not have that, because in their culture they do not have that many genders. In the United States, for instance, African Americans do not have a dichotomous gender. They don't have that. They have more than two. So if they have a cultural perspective, then they are going to have multiple choices. You understand? Same way the Danes, if in their culture they recognize and identify multiple genders, then that is also going to be something that will be taught to the kids, that, oh, look, in our culture, in our community, we recognize these genders, we recognize these genders, we recognize these people. Bringing it to the culture of Ghana will mean that, and this is where I said I thought this document was super neutral, because this document is talking about just two genders.
And you were making a point earlier that you wished more were mentioned.
Yes, but then it's super neutral. It's saying, oh, you are talking about maleness. You are talking about female, like being a female. No talk about intersex, even though we know there are a lot of intersex people in Ghana. No talk of that. So in the document becoming culturally relevant, we lose out on a lot of the things that I consider progressive. But then I'm okay with it because it's culturally relevant now. And culture is dynamic. Culture will change. There will come a time when...
There's a quick point important. This document is a guideline. There are no details in it. So we need to clear about that. It doesn't talk about two genders. It doesn't. So let's be clear.
I am thankful that you keep insisting that
on page 11, and I allow that to go, Kofi, because on page 11 it says Model 3 Session 1, myself, being a male or female.
Yes.
On page 12, Model 5 Section 5 says gender power relations, gender and health.
Yes.
Model 5 Section 4 says respecting gender differences. and dealing with gender discrimination. You can go on and on and on.
Now,
So
if
I'm
we-
saying at this point it is general. Okay, and let me keep making this point that I respect the fact that GS yesterday is saying they are not going to go with the detail in the know its own its document. So
Okay.
this remains general, and I think we can somehow make this work. But
Okay.
let's just not pretend we don't know what's going on.
You know what? This conversation, we need to introduce our next guest. The introduction of the Know It Own It, Live It document has the fact that the PPAG put it together for NPC 20 and NPC. The NPC in there is the National Population Council. We have the head of the National Population Council in here. And we'll bring her into the discussion and see what she thinks about the conversations that this has spawned. This is the Super Morning Show, 12 minutes at the top of the hour. Stay with us.
Good day, my one and only human resource manager.
Good day, Abner.
It just occurred to me, now that our colleague is no more, what's going to happen to his wife and children?
Oh, that one. The company has the unique Glyco Group comprehensive insurance cover for staff. And the good news is that Glyco Life has already paid a claim for our late colleague, so his family will be well taken care of financially.
Wow, this is so relieving to hear.
Yes, the Glyco Group comprehensive plan provides a 24-hour adequate group life cover for employees or members of associations. Should any employee be injured in an accident, suffer disability, terminal diseases like heart attack, stroke, kidney failure, or even death, Glyco Group comprehensive plan will pay substantial benefits to them or their beneficiaries. Moreover, the plan also takes care of our company's legal liability under the Workmen's Compensation Act. Abner, close your mouth.
Amazing. Keep up the good work.
So, my fellow corporate human resource managers and executives, call Glyco Life on 020-222-113 or 050-125-6336. Email to customer services at glycogroup.com or grouplife@glycolife.com to have your employees covered under the Glyco Group Comprehensive Plan.
At Afrodan, we believe that many of the problems people have with their health is as a result of the way they sit. In other words, your chair can kill you. Here's Dr. Marcus Mann of the Chiropractic and Wellness Center.
What you have to remember is that the spine is the lifeline to your body, and posture is the window to that spine. Now, posture is affected by your daily activities and habits like sitting. That's why at the Chiropractic and Wellness Centers, we recommend what I believe to be the best chairs available for preventing not only subluxations, but also other health problems that you may not be aware of. And that's Rabami and Mobilex chairs. Unfortunately, on a daily basis, I have to correct the effects of this poor sitting habit in our businessmen and businesswomen. Always remember, optimal spine equals optimum health.
So, for the sake of your health, buy Rabami or Mobilex chairs from Afrodan. We're on the first floor of the Swansea Shopping Arcade. Telephone 663-085.
So everyone says I'm a Kosia filler, but it's not like I'm nosy or go out to find out the latest filler. It's just that I get 50 megabytes of data free after paying for only the first minute of every call. And so I just keep discovering stuff minute after minute. That's how come I was minding my business, scrolling through my timeline, and I found out Coco has a new baby. Oh, and last week I learned Ken won the lottery. You see, Ken is my brother's friend. So hello, look who's about to roll with the rich and famous.
Enjoy even more value with MTN Free After One. You only pay for the first minute of your call on MTN Free After One, and the rest is free. Plus, you enjoy free 50 megabytes worth of data to browse your favorite sites. Compare where, compare there. So dial *315# to sign up. We day for you everywhere you go. Terms and conditions apply.
Ghana 4. Don't miss out on the exciting launch of our new collections starting this week. Casa Trasacco is packed with a new full range of exclusive furniture of the best Italian quality at unbeatable prices that will make you dance all the way home. Visit our expansive showroom and feast your eyes on remarkable kitchens, living room, bedroom, dining and sofa sets that will make any space beautifully unique and make you feel right at home. So don't waste time. Come and visit our showroom located on the Spinter Road behind the Accra Mall. Share the good news and tell a friend to tell a friend. Casa Trasacco, a part of all of us.
Hooray! The big surprise is here. Are you a parent, a Guardian, or JHS student moving on to SHS? Are you hoping to buy all items enlisted in your school prospectus from one shop without moving from one place to another? Are you looking for quality and affordable items for your ward's SHS admission and wondering where? Look no further. Prospectus Ghana Limited, your one-stop shop for all school items, is here. Buy directly from our shop on the Graphic Road opposite to Ghana, or call and place your order. Service delivery is available. Credit is available for everyone. Workers from both the formal and informal sectors. For all enquiries, call 0302-955-050 or 0302-955-030. We are at Prospectus Ghana Limited on all social media handles. Website www.prospectusghana.com. If it's your school prospectus, then Prospectus Ghana is where Ghana shops.
ShopRite's extra big birthday celebration is now on, and we are celebrating with extra big savings, extra big deals, and extra low prices.
Like 125 ml tub of Eleve fruit yogurt assorted.
Only 5 Ghana cedis, 99 pesos. Save 1 Ghana cedi. And 1.3 kilogram of Sadia whole frozen chicken, just 17 Ghana cedis, 99 pesos. Save 1 Ghana cedi. Valid until 6th October. Don't miss the extra big celebration where you can save big with our extra big birthday only at ShopRite. Lower prices you can trust always. Plus, you could win big with our extra big birthday scratch and win competition. Buy any 3 participating products, get a scratch card, and you could win your share of over 100,000 Ghana cedis in scratch card prizes. Competition ends on 6th October. T&C supply.
Coffee in your cup. Enjoy on the
4 minutes to the top of the hour here on the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM. We have been joined by Dr. Letitia Adelaide Apia of the National Population Council. Kobe Enchibuesiako should probably be paying us this morning. He's been here since 7:35. And Kofi Bento joined at a point in between 7:35 and now. Today's agenda is brought to you by Societe Generale SG Ghana. The future is you. But of course, you are my number one guest. I'm talking to you, listening to me through your radio. And I'll be opening the phone lines for you to talk to us very shortly. At APSA, we always strive to keep you ahead. We invested $500 million into tech to make future possibilities a present reality. We also collaborate to provide you with modern, award-winning banking solutions. Welcome to APSA Group Limited. APSA, proudly serving you in Ghana as Barclays. Now, Not My Husband is the latest Ebo White play. It shows at the National Theatre on the 5th, the 6th, the 12th, and 13th of October 2019 at 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. each day. I mean, this Friday and this Saturday. Please, if you had an early bird ticket at 60 Ghana cedis, it's only this weekend that you can watch it, so come over. Otherwise, just call us on 050-554-6010 or WhatsApp us on 050-554-6030 to get your ticket. You can also dial star 713 star 15 hash or star 876 star 876 hash to get your ticket. To the top of the hour, let me bring back my guests in studio into the conversation. It's very important that Dr. Letitia has joined us because on page 1 of the rainbow colored document, what has become known as the rainbow colored document, and just a quick side comment, I've seen a lot of people send me back pictures of my copy of the document with notes I made last week with places I marked. Just my mother just sent it to me. Yeah, it's very ironic. And on page 1, this is another point that I made, and I was looking for this. On page 1, it says this is a PPAG-CSE delivery based on national guideline NPC 2017. That NPC is National Population Council. So, Dr. Letitia, what do we know about this document? Know it, own it, live it.
Yeah, thank you so much for thanks for the opportunity. Yes, know it, own it, live it document. It's, as you rightly said, prepared by PPAG, and is one of the source documents that NACA will be using to populate the guidelines. But I must say that it's not everything in it that we will take wholly and implement, because the guidelines are supposed to be implemented based on our culture and our values system, because we all stakeholders in bringing up the children. And so, yes, it's developed by PPAG and MPC. You see, it was launched by
the Deputy Minister of Education. way back in 2017.
Yes, but then, like I'm saying, we're reviewing other documents to populate.
But why would we launch it? Why would we put our name on it? Why would local organizations sort of give it an endorsement if we don't accept it wholly?
Well, yes. Yeah, but then it can also be reviewed because it's not a Bible, you know. So we can review it and make sure that as we populate the guidelines for in school and out of school, some of these things that are not culturally sensitive are not part of it.
We'll come to the parts that we say are not culturally sensitive shortly, but the question still holds that we know we are going to review it. We know it's not going to be accepted by the total population, but we seem to sort of endorse it. And it's important because a number of international organizations now point to it and say, we gave it a rubber stamp a while back.
Well, yes, that is true, but for me, it's only a fool who doesn't retreat. You know, so if we've seen that there are portions in it that it's at variance with our culture, it's only a fool who will say that, I mean, we cannot go back on it. Because what's the essence? The essence is to make sure that our children grow up to be responsible adults. And if this is what is going to be in the way, that the guiding principle is making sure that our children are responsible adults. And that is why we have to be emotionally intelligent to say that, yes, this place, we will take it out, we'll add it on, so it benefits everybody for current and for prosperity.
A minute past 9. I'm going to take the Joy Business Minute now. And then I'll just take the Joy Business Minute. When I come back, we continue. Stay with us.
Hello, it's Karen and Darrell.
Bringing you the Joy Business Minute.
Increase in communication service tax and utility tariffs, depositors insurance and forward sale of forex are all expected to be implemented today. This is after regulators overseeing these sectors approved the respective taxes and policy measures.
Also today, the Minister of Agric, Dr. Wusefria Koto, is expected to announce an increase in cocoa producer price for farmers at Sunyane in the Bono region. There has not been any adjustment since October 2016.
The Deputy Commissioner of the Ghana Revenue Authority, Amishada Owusu-Amoah, will today take over as Acting Commissioner of the institution as Commissioner Kofi Nti retires. Mr. Owusu-Amoah, as one of his immediate tasks, will have to improve revenue collection shortfalls of the GRA.
Elsewhere, Japan has increased its consumption tax for the first time in 5 years, bringing the long-delayed policy into effect despite concerns it may knock the economy.
Taxes here, taxes there.
Taxes everywhere.
And we're still in the studio with Dr. Letitia Adley-Dapia. She's head of the National Population Council, Kofi Bento, and Kobe Nchibwe-Siako. Mr. Bento, so you hear now what Dr. Apia is saying. Satisfied?
Yeah, and honestly, I wish there were more Dr. Apias running this country. Dr. Apia is simply saying, look, only a fool doesn't retreat. And I started by saying that I acknowledge the fact that yesterday, GS, sometime in the afternoon, I believe after they had met, came out and said, no, the KOL document is not going to necessarily be the source document for this. That's a tactical retreat, and that's a good thing. We know they launched it. The deputy minister launched it. We know the minister has spoken to it. We know they were in the process. But look, I said I read a lot about this thing at least last weekend. Over the life of this CSE thing, this is what has been happening almost in every country. It starts, parents, teachers, and some people get to know some of the details. It erupts, and then people backtrack. Just last week, Canada has had to cancel its own. Now, Doc is saying, hey, we started something. If we think there's a problem with it, we are going to amend it. I think that's the way to go. The point we don't have to make is to say, oh, there's nothing wrong with it. What do you care about? These things is happening already, that kind of thing. No, we have to raise our children. That means there are different options for raising them. You choose the best. You don't say, because some people live by crime, crime is an option for you. So I agree with Doc that, look, if there are good things in this document, let's pick it up. But my big problem with this country, and for that reason, many other countries, why don't we think for ourselves? Why do we always have to take somebody's something and amend it? All right? Look, like you said, we have a big problem with childhood marriage in this country. We have a big problem with FGM in this country. We have many sex-related types of problems, girl-child related types of issues. We should be spending time dealing with those things. Now we are spending time going to amend somebody's document, which is talking about hormone treatment. Okay, so, I mean, look, I like to hear what Doc has said. And for all those of us who are, fighting this cause, I think we should take favorably the position of the ministry now, that this KOL document, know it, own it, live it document, is not going to be the source document. But the ministry should have the humility to accept that today, as we speak, it's the only document for the details of what CSE should be. And we should all stop this, defense of the thing as if CSE is sex education. Please, there's more to it than that. Let's just move from here.
Kobe, you have a comment?
Yeah, I just want to add. I just want to add this, that this document is a vision. It's a progressive vision, right? That you can buy into it wholly, or you can take aspects of it. Now, as the doc said, aspects of it we can adopt and are culturally appropriate. Aspects of it we feel that as a culture we are not there yet. But I know we are going to get there. As a culture, we are not there yet. However, there are some aspects of it. I'm like, these are just informational. You would find this on the internet, whether it's in a CS document or it's on a Google page. You find these documents. You find information about trans.
For the purpose of our listeners, because I read that section off air. I was reading from page 14. Some people who want to change their sex may use hormones and or undergo surgery to alter their sexual organs permanently. This is information for 9 to 11-year-olds.
That's the persuasive aspects of this. To remove the dissonance.
Bento, no. If I tell a 9-year-old that some people, right, pierce their ears to identify as women, am I telling the kid that it's okay for the kids to pierce their
Number
ears?
one, you don't have any business saying that. Number two, why are you spending that kid's time telling them about using hormones to change sex?
What business do we have teaching children about cooking?
One at a time, one at a time,
stop
gentlemen.
arguing
One
about
at a
this
time.
stuff, all right? We should
One
think
at a
about
time, one at
going
a time,
forward. Yeah, so
gentlemen.
I'm speaking
No.
now.
So Kofi, just make your points quickly.
So my point,
so that Kofi can continue.
So my point is, this whole document has an agenda. We know who put that content there and for which reason. Now we are agreeing that we need to amend it here and there. My point is, why do you take something which is terribly bad and try to amend it? Think for yourself. Solve your own problems.
But Kofi thinks it's not terribly bad.
Well, that's where we disagree. Because if you're talking about hormone treatment for sex change to 9-year-olds,
sexuality education, they've taken over me when we are 3 years and I'm a lady. They are discriminating against me.
Exactly.
You see, they just explained it.
Okay, say yes.
This is what CSE would have taught them. That they should respect my space.
My mama
and
taught me
my
that,
time.
so I'll let you speak. My mama taught me that.
But then again, okay, so Dr. Letitia, you want to make your points quickly. Kobe, we haven't forgotten that you were on the floor. Doctor, go ahead.
What I want to say is that, the document we have is culturally appropriate and sensitive, and that is what we should look at. And we have to do this and implement this in line with our data. Statistical Service tells us the sexual issues that we have. Statistical Service gives us a teenage pregnancy rate at 14%, child marriage 27%, and that is what should fit into this document. That is what we should fit into this document. So this is just a guide, and these fine details that we have our schools, a third of them don't have toilets, and so you cannot do comprehensive sexuality education because the menstruation will need toilet and water. 50% of the schools don't have water. So that is what we are addressing, to say that if we want our children to grow up to be healthy, productive adults, then the agenda should not take them out of school. So me menstruating as a girl should not stay out of school because you have not provided water and sanitary pads and then toilets. So we have to look at our situation and deal with it. And that is what we seek to do with this document. And we will take bits and pieces from all sorts of documents to populate ours.
But Kobe, you do agree that whether or not you think it's a bad thing or not, some of these things are not really relevant for the challenges that we face.
See, we can always walk and chew gum. Information, no matter how irrelevant you think it is important. Now, if we, in our curriculum, right, we feel that, okay, this information to this particular, at this particular age to kids is inappropriate, that's where I'll have a problem with. But if we think that, it's irrelevant at this particular stage in their life, then, we can have an argument. But to me, right, information, no matter what age, as long as the kids can understand that this is what is out there. Because if we don't tell them in a controlled environment, they will find out. Kids have phones. kids have internet. And unless we are able to give them information in a controlled manner, and there's a lot of misinformation also out there. So however we can give information to kids in a controlled manner, we should do it.
You see, that is the challenge I have a little, that kids have phones. We think that Ghanaian kids are those in Accra and Kumasi. Those in my villages don't have phones. The needs of those in my village is not phone. They cannot even look at what we're talking about on the phone because they don't have access to it. You know, in public health, you talk about the common good. You talk about what benefits the majority of the people. And what benefits the majority of our children is good environment in school and then good parenting. You know, so that is what we have to look at. These other things, if you look at them, just like a percentage of people with higher education in Ghana is less than 5%. And so if you're having a program, you focus on the majority of the people. So we need to have our data to inform everything that we put our energies and our monies and our strengths to.
Let me bring Kofi in before I come back to you, Kofi.
Not all information is useful depending on when you give it. The whole essence of socialization and upbringing is restraint. Your parents bring you up and say, don't eat too much sugar. Don't do this, don't do that. As a child, you want to eat sugar. You may want to play with knives. You may want to play around a water body, but you'll be restrained. We are confusing kids. Even adults are not clear in terms of some of these very serious life-changing choices. So when you put in the mind of a 9-year-old that they have options to choose whether they want to be this or that, and all these other things, and I don't want to go into you read some of the things if you want on masturbation and other things, then you open up a lot of confusion, because teenagers will struggle with their sexuality, with who they are, and all kinds of things, which is normal. And when you get into those situations, you need a family, you need a supportive environment, and part of what they will do for you is to tell you where not to go. If we open all these things up to these young minds who don't have much guidance, and we say you can try all these things, we are going to damage them. So please, let's not pollute them at this point with these things which even adults cannot handle well. I am not saying we should not be tolerant of people who make those choices, but it's absolutely improper. It's absolutely not warranted. It's absolutely injurious to put all these things as options to kids below 10.
It's like giving them a knife to play with.
I think what we should do, I mean, talking about restraint is good. But in my mind, goal setting. You know, if you know where you want to go, the journey becomes easier.
Okay.
So we have to let the children know that, you know, if you want to be the architect or the lawyer or the journalist or this that you want to be, this is the path. And that is motivating to the children. You know, so some of the information.
Right.
Yes, I think for me, what we haven't done
What
is
are our aspirations?
What are aspirations
What
as
are the
individuals?
outcomes we want for the children?
Exactly.
Beautiful,
as
Kobe.
individuals, as a nation, is critical.
So I want to respond to two things, right? First, on the class divide in the country. One of the ways to bridge that class divide that you mentioned, where not all kids are in Accra with phones, is through education, right? So the kids with phones may get access to a lot more information than the kids without phones. However, through education, we're able to bring some form of parity, at least the ones that we set for ourselves as a goal, as a country, that, or at least kids of this age should understand this, should know this, should be able to comprehend these concepts, right? And then, secondly, on what my brother Kofi was talking about, on what were we talking about again?
A lot of things.
If you empower these children, yes,
yeah,
okay,
information. Good. About already the module shows incremental knowledge acquisition. Already the model shows incremental knowledge acquisition. With sex is not even mentioned until teenage years, and that is when the hormones kick in. Already, that is what the model is showing. If it were up to me, I'll teach it earlier. And I'm saying this has to be a 50-50 thing between parents and the schools. You introduce your kids to the concepts early. When they go to school and it's being talked about, then it doesn't become awkward. But we know that this talking about sex, even from all the reactions that we are getting, that talking about sex is a problem. It's a sensitive subject in the country. We are still puritanical, whether we want to admit it or not.
Are
I
we?
think information is need based. As and when you need the information, then you're given. It's just like food.
Capable of handling it.
It's just like food. When you're a baby, you have milk, and that is your food. But then as you grow, it's incremental. Based on your needs, it is added on.
And that's exactly what the model is doing.
My listeners have so many questions for the three of you, so I'm gonna take my last batch of messages when I come back. 0302 216 541 0302 216 541 0244 340 437. We'll be right back.
Okay, our last caller is on the line.
Hi, Mr. Presenter. I don't understand how I take out my own money to buy credit. Then when I buy it, the people say I have to use it by a certain time. Otherwise, they will take it away. I mean, how? I should be able to keep it as long as I want. At the end, it's only expiry. It's not about.
All right, thank you. Now let's take a message from our sponsors. Switch to Airtel Tigo. Get Fuse, the only call and data bundle with no expiry. So time no be problem. Call all networks and browse with Airtel Tigo Fuse. Dial *567# to bundle.
Airtel Tigo. Life is simple.
Charlie, so it's actually raining and we can't hear any sound. As for this, your house, when it's raining, no sound. When the sun is up, the interior is cool. What roof are you using?
They use Ico roofing shingles from Interface Limited. Long lasting and beautiful.
Ico roofing shingles. We all for move to Interface and get this Ico roofing shingles.
Interface Limited is the leading supplier and installer of finishing input materials for the building and construction industry in Ghana. Call us on 0274 999999 or visit our website at www.interfacelimited.com.
Download app, get it right, do your business with pleasure. Shango, affordable. Yango, let's go. With 2 Ghana cities, the shortest possible distance. Yango, oh yeah, let's go. Yango, so just get a ride. Feel so good with Yango.
Yango, let's go. Oktoberfest is back. Labadi Beach Hotel in partnership with Joy 99.7 FM and Temacraft Brewery brings you Oktoberfest 2019. Catch all the fun with German food and beers live at the Labadi Beach Hotel this October. Date is Friday, 4th October from 5 p.m. to midnight and Saturday, 5th October from 2 p.m. till midnight. By popular request and performing live for the second time in Ghana is the amazing band from Germany. For enquiries and bookings, please call 0544-431-213. It's Oktoberfest 2019. Let's celebrate!
The Institute of Directors Ghana, in collaboration with African Corporate Governance Network, presents the Corporate Governance Excellence Awards Conference and Exhibition 2019. The conference is dubbed Optimizing the Growth of SMEs while Globalizing Big Corporates, the Role of Good Corporate Governance. Keynote speaker is Professor Mervyn King from South Africa. Venue is the Kempinski Hotel, and the date is the 22nd of November 2019. Special guest of honor is His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, President of the Fourth Republic of Ghana. There will be a masterclass and one-on-one session with Professor Mervyn King for all board chairs, board members, CEOs, and senior management people available on demand. Certificates will also be issued. Visit iodghana.org to complete the awards questionnaires online. Participation closes on the 18th of October 2019. For attendance in the conference, masterclass, sponsorship, exhibition, and further enquiries, please contact 0242 545616 or awards@iodghana.org. Partner is the International Finance Corporation. Media partner is Joy Business. Empowering, prospering together.
My name is Sergeant Kofi. You are my eyes and my ears in our fight against crime and terrorism in your community. If you see anything suspicious, please say something. Call the police toll-free number 18555
This public service announcement is brought to you by your friends at Joy FM. Hashtag, if you see something, say something.
Coffee in your cup and joy on the set. The Super Morning Show is always the best bet. On
20 minutes past 90. Welcome back. This is the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM. It's now time for me to make way for my number one guest. You listening to me, 0302-216-541-0244-340-437. Maybe you have a question for some of our other guests. Dr. Letitia Adelaide Apia is head of the National Population Council. Kofi Bento is a legal practitioner. He's a lot of things in this Ghana that we are in. But today he's here as a concerned parent. Kobe Echibwesiako is the president of the Humanists Association. But Webster University is an American university based in St. Louis, Missouri, with international campuses in 9 countries around the world. At Webster, you get an American education with the opportunity of completing your degree in any of our network campuses in North America, Europe, and Asia. Just call us now on 054 0128 0120849 or 054 012 0869, pardon me. Webster.edu.gh is the website. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Sefam is calling from Dodowa. Good morning, Sefam.
Yeah. Good morning, Daniel.
Yes, please turn off your radio. Let's hear you.
Is it okay now?
Much better. Let's go.
Yeah. So I've been following you from Friday till now, and I've been disturbing Papaya for several reasons. I don't know the kind of documents everybody is speaking to, but then when you type into Google and you talk about comprehensive sex education, you will notice that all kinds of documents will pop up with Ghana attached to it.
Mm-hmm.
I am speaking to the National bear with me for a minute. I'm speaking to the final document with a green background.
Yes, with a green document with the coat of arms on it.
Thank you. That is what I am speaking to.
Okay.
And I'm sure one of the gentlemen in the
I have
studio
one
right
in
now
my
is,
hands now, so you go.
Thank you. And he's speaking to that as well. I have gone through from the first page, the preamble, to the latter. And for me, as a teacher, as a parent, and somebody passionate about curriculum, it is good. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that document. The PPAG document and the one with UNESCO or whatever, these are proposed manuals that are supporting the guidelines for which we can decide to use or to pick certain things and not to use based on our cultural ideas and age-specific ideas. So all these things that we are good, and we have to know that curriculum is not fixed. Curriculum is fluid. And it's fluid in the sense that it goes with change. It goes with the issues that we are facing. The lady spoke about the challenges we are having, the teenage pregnancy, the children getting married and other things. Do we have any idea, out of the 30 million population, the age of 15 to 19, do we know whether they form the majority population? And HIV and AIDS, for which age range are we having issues with?
Actually, so HIV and AIDS prevalence is going up among adolescents and young adults. You would find that out of 19,931 people who were infected in 2018, 16,614 are aged 15 and above. So it is a big issue.
Thank you.
For us.
And for the age, from adolescents, start from which age?
15.
It could start from
Well, it could go
15
to 10. It could even go as low as 10.
In fact, some children are even developing very quick. At the age of 9, some of them are menstruating. Some of them are having changes in their bodies. So if you want to go with the trend, we could start from 10 all the way to 19. And you're having issues here, defilement issues and other things. So if you look at the guideline and they're talking about self-awareness, personal grooming, assertiveness, decision-making, values, and what have you. And so what is the problem that we are having with this issue?
Sefam, great point, okay? Great point, okay? You're a teacher, right?
Yes, I am.
Do you teach at these levels, at any of these levels?
I teach. Yes, I teach from the senior high.
Beautiful.
High.
Have you seen anything indicating what you will be teaching as part of CSE?
So for me, I teach business management. Okay, normally I have no chance upon the new curriculum for the business management yet. But case studies, but when you talk about religious, social studies and other things, and as the other gentleman pointed and as the document pointed, these things are already integrated into the existing subject.
But then
they
again, Sefam, then again, you won't be teaching any of these modules, so we don't know what the exact content will be.
I will not be teaching it, but the guideline says that as a parent, as part of the community, we all have our what do you call it? Our contributions towards sex education to teach them.
Sefam, thank you so much for calling us. Let me go on the other line and speak with Elizabeth from Community 25. Sometimes you enjoy the conversation too much. Hi, Elizabeth.
Hi, Didi. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing?
Thank God I'm doing well. Second time talking to you on air.
Nice. Let's hear you.
Yes. Didi, you can dilute it, you can subtract something from it, you can do whatever it is. We are Ghanaians. We simply don't want it. We don't like it. They should take it away from our system. Thank you.
Thank you, Elizabeth. 0302 216-541. I have Marconi from Tema on the line. Marconi, just give me a minute. Text messages on the Super Morning Show are brought to you by Afro Danny Back must last you a lifetime. And Glyco Critical Illness Plan GSIP. Glyco, we cushion you for life. Hi, Marconi, please turn off your radio.
All right.
Okay. We can hear you. Please go ahead.
Good morning, Dan.
Good morning.
Yeah, I'm sorry. My English is not so good, so forgive me. Take it like that.
Oh, feel free, Charlie.
I've been following you since yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
We are here in this country, Mahama time, and Mahama and his government, they said they want to provide sanitary part to school girls. People criticize about it. Now that they brought this one, for me, for this one, I thought it is not good. It's not everything that we should let the child know. At a tender age, it's not good, so we should bring children, what do you call it, sex education at a tender age.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? Because when you brought this thing, bad teachers, excuse my language, bad teachers are going to take advantage of this and do different things. I've been following this station for a long time. I can remember that some time ago you said some teacher raped a student after school.
It was a group of teachers. We did it last year. It was a gang of teachers who raped defiled a total of about 30 or 40 students in the Ashanti region. Anyway, let me go on the other line and speak to Maxwell from Sakomono. Good morning, Maxwell.
Good morning.
Maxwell, turn off your radio, please.
Okay, yeah. Is it okay now?
It's better. Let's hear you.
All right, yes. So the question I have for them, they mentioned having an incremental lesson plan to help the children meet a certain end goal. For instance, if you want to become an architect or whatever, there are things they take you through to reach that end goal. Now, what I want to ask is, this program that they are rolling out, what is that end goal? We shouldn't just look at there are certain issues around we need to deal with. Yes, we need to deal with them, but then again, what we need to know as a country is, what is that end goal? What are we trying to achieve? If we don't work with that end goal, we just do things, and then we reach the point where the end goal happens, and then we realize that this is really not what we wanted. So my question is, what is that end goal?
So what Dr. Pia said, Maxwell, is that is what we should do. We should have a system that has an end point for the students and graduates them towards that. She didn't say that that's what we are currently doing. Thanks for calling anyway. My next caller is Araba from Accra. Good morning, Araba.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, how are you?
Yeah, I'm blessed. Your one of your hosts, Kobe, he says that the guidelines give only two genders, male and female. Now, when you read page 14, it's teaching the children that they can change their sexual gender permanently, either using hormones or undergoing what's it called, surgery.
So, Araba, I'll stop you there
Yes.
because you are reading from a different document.
Is it?
You are reading from a different document. There's the guidelines.
Yes.
That one is a small green booklet that has only about 25 pages. And then
Okay.
there is Know It, Own It, Live It. It's a manual, which is a big, bulky document with about 569 pages.
Is it not related?
Yes, so they are related. The word we have so far from GES, which has been confirmed by the National Population Council, whose name is actually on that document, I must say, is that we are only going to pick parts of the one you're quoting from. Okay. To
And
populate,
so this is not going to be taught in the schools. Is that what they are saying?
that depends on what you demand. You're a Ghanaian. What do you want?
We don't want it because as a parent and as a Christian, the only thing I know is Adam and Eve, male and female.
Okay.
And so if that is going to be taught, then my son, my 6-year-old son, will come home and tell me that, Mom, my auntie tells me that you can change your sexual organs. And as a parent, what am I going to say?
Araba, thank you very much for speaking up this morning. Your contribution makes our discussion much richer. Mercy is calling from Accra. Good morning, Mercy.
Good morning. I sorry. I'm
Mercy, you're on
very
air.
heartbroken.
Let's hear you. Why?
Because for the past 4 years, my children haven't been to school. I took my daughter to school, and after 1 year, I noticed she was sexually being abused. After 3 years, I realized the school have teamed up with some people, and they take my daughter from school the whole day, being taught how to do this by sexual gay and by stuff. And the girl so got used to this thing that she couldn't control herself. And not just her in the class. Sometimes she sees some people that they also take them out of the school, and later they see them closing. The parents come for them. So they are doing this in practice. And now they want to put it in the book so that they learn, and then after they go and do it in practice. I'm very disappointed in Ghana and the government. The boy went to school after some time too, and the same thing happened to him. But within 3 weeks, I found out and I withdrew him. And we have friends and families who have engaged themselves in these things, and they go to pick the school have aligned with them, and and now they want to put it in the book so that they do it in the book, and then they take them out to go and practice.
Mercy, don't hang up. Speak to Papaya, okay? Don't hang up. Thanks for calling. Pope is on the line from Kumasi. Good morning, Pope.
Yeah, good morning, Didi.
Yes.
I hope you're doing well.
Oh, I'm okay. You're on it. Let's hear you.
Didi, because as a people, we must be cautious the way we make things or we do things. Yeah. We don't have to always swallow everything hook, line, sinker from the white. What do they take from us? Do they learn anything or take any models from us? Why is it always that we are supposed to be taking it from them? And when we are taking it from them, we don't measure them, we don't do the due diligence to make sure we are picking the right one. We just pick everything. What is all this about? Are we done providing for our kids or removing them from under trees, placing them in classrooms, providing desks for them, giving them the nice classrooms? Are we done doing that? What is this priority for?
Pope, thank you very much for calling us. I have a few text messages. Evans, please, this is Daniel, but please ask your panelists what his reaction will be if his pupils asked him to show them his manhood in the class. The class is a controlled environment, isn't it? Or demonstrates, say, masturbation in the class. This CSE fast must be rejected outright. You have an exclamation mark at the end there. We might as well begin to make toddler marriage lawful. From Steve Incarnation. Hey, Steve. I have listened and even argued on my WhatsApp pages, and I can safely conclude that the majority who are kicking against this they are doing so because it's an LGBTQ agenda. Why don't we utilize it to our advantage? Let us kick against it, and tomorrow you'll see that the evil we are saying this education would bring will be practiced by the youth. And the youth already practicing most of these acts: lesbianism, gay, supi, premarital sex, amongst others. Why don't we open our eyes to the positives first? Marcos B. Anthony. Selome is calling from airport. Good morning, Selome.
Hi, good morning, Daniel, and thank you for the opportunity. Uh, and it's an opportunity for the first time to contribute to your program as well. I think the conversation about the comprehensive sexuality education and all the confusion around it is because people are confusing the guideline with the source document. And I've heard since morning people making reference to the manual by PPAG as the guideline. And that is not the case. And I think we need to clarify that. The second issue for me is the thinking that because we are talking about reproductive rights, embedded in that is the promotion of gayism and lesbianism. And in my opinion, and as somebody who has been part of this process in contributing to the revision of the guideline before it finally passed, that has never been the intention. The issue about rights is about empowering the young people in a manner that when somebody wants to take advantage of them, they are able to negotiate their way around the issues and get out of that trouble. And
Salome,
so,
did I hear you say? Did I hear you say you were part of reviewing the documents that we have now, the guidelines?
yes, I work in the reproductive health field.
Okay. So,
Yes.
Salome,
yes,
where's the detail? Where's the content?
the content of what?
The detail for the guidelines that we have. What they will actually do in the classrooms. Where is it?
Excellent. So currently, what we are doing is the details are being developed based on the source documents available. And remember, there are a number of source documents available. And so what is relevant for us as a country is what we are pulling out to develop those details, which will translate into the teaching material that the teachers will be using. And that process is ongoing. We haven't even reached anywhere on that yet. And so by the time those teaching and learning materials are developed based on the guideline, you realize that none of the things that we are crying about is captured in any of those documents. And it's important also for all of us to understand that those of us who are contributing to this document are also parents. And we are guided by the things we're saying. I'm not going to repeat the issue about statistics. It's been talked about. The issues about teenage pregnancy. How many times haven't we heard when our young ones are writing the BEC, the number of young girls who drop out as a result of pregnancy? If abstinence has worked and is working, as we are claiming, why are we still faced with some of these challenges? I think these are real issues that we need to confront.
Salome, don't hang up, okay? Speak to Papayao. He would take your number. Christopher is on the line from Afienya. Good morning,
Hello.
Christopher.
Yeah, hello, good morning.
Yeah, Christopher, listen to this. I have a text from Linda. She says, good morning. She said, Daniel, we are doomed. She says a crying smiley. Good morning, Linda Inosu. Do you agree with Linda?
I completely agree.
Why?
Daniel, I want you to Google Alice and Belly. This woman died in 1949 and she wrote a 10-point agenda as to how to change mindsets and societies. And how she started it is that when you want to change a society, you start from children. You leave the old because they are already cemented in their old ideas. And this whole agenda is to take out Christianity from our schools. People are talking about culture and American culture. The question I want to ask is that in the American culture before, when the Americans started, were they gays? Were they having homosexuality and all these things that they are experiencing now? It all started like what we are experiencing now. When you read the 10-point agenda, I think on point 3 or so, she speaks about making sex free and accessible. And if it must be free, then abortion must be accessible and must be available to the people. And the whole agenda is to make sure that children's minds are set towards sexuality. And that is what is happening. Those who are defending it, it looks like they don't. The Bible says that for lack of knowledge, my people perish. Most of these people, They don't know that there is a mind, there is an agenda of the devil to put all these kind of demonic things in our society. And you see what happened to Sodom and Gomorrah is about to happen to Ghana if we don't resist these things. And I think that these things are also happening because the president himself, when he was asked about his thoughts on homosexuality, what he said has opened the floodgates for people to be throwing these things at us. He said there's no much pressure. If pressure is mounted on us, then we will accept it. So it means that the father of the nation himself says, now there's no knife on my neck. When you put a knife on my neck, I will accept homosexuality.
Well, that interpretation has been disagreed with by a number of people who speak for him. But my last caller is calling from Tesano. His name is Sam. Good morning, Sam.
Good morning, Dan.
Sam, let's hear you.
Thank you for the opportunity. Dan, I heard one of your panelists. I think the lady you spoke on the phone.
Yeah, Petrina.
I heard her saying that we should allow this thing to go, and then we keep our eyes, and then if something go wrong, we hold the implementers responsible. Dan, my question is, when has anybody taken any responsibility of anything that goes wrong in this country? Any policy, anything at all that a government does that goes wrong? Tell me, from Nkrumah up to now, whoever who has ever taken responsibility of anything that goes wrong? Okay. So listen, this thing is making some of us sick already. We are getting sick of this thing already. Look, on a lighter note, maybe some of us, those of us who are not yet parents or who don't have children yet, maybe we might want to hold on to our children in our stomach so that we can bring them out in the next world.
On a much lighter note. Thank you very much, Sam, for calling. Okay, I'm going to give final comments to my guest in studio, after which we move on to our friends from Labadi Beach Hotel. Oktoberfest is coming up shortly. We'll be telling you all about that. But this weekend, from the 3rd to the 5th of October, there will be a construction. There will be the 17th International Building and Construction and Property Exhibition from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. daily. On Friday, 4th October, at 9 a.m., there will be the Construction Forum. And at 6 p.m., there will be City Construction and Property Awards. You heard Mr. Wajeto speaking yesterday. Amazing stuff. The theme is Conceive, Construct, Conserve. Stay with us. Now you can enjoy 50 megabytes of free data to browse your favorite sites everywhere you go. Just call your loved ones, pay for the first minutes of your call on MTN free after 1, and the rest of your call is free. Then you enjoy 50 megabytes data to browse your favorite sites. Just dial *315# to sign up now. We did for you everywhere you go. Afrodan offers you the most comfortable chair in the world, the Nightingale Extreme Comforts Chair. It has over 10 thoughtfully engineered features. So go to Afrodan on the first floor of the Swansea Shopping Arcade and feel this chair. You'll be amazed. Call us on 0302-663-085. Ladies first.
Yes, thank you so
final
much.
Words, though.
Yeah, thanks for that very interesting comment. I will start from the one who said change of mindset and lack of knowledge, my people perish. So change of mindset, it means that as a country, we need to have our mindset. Where do we want to go to? You know, it is important. Otherwise, if it's so easy for people to change our mindsets, then it means we don't really have a vision and a focus. And for lack of knowledge, my people perish. Keeping knowledge away is ignorance. And for ignorance, it causes diseases, which also causes poverty. So we also have to identify the knowledge that we want our children to have, because ignorance is really not an option. We need to engage them. And I feel very sorry for the lady whose children were being abused
that was
in
a
school.
terrible story, wasn't it?
That is very, very terrible. And I don't know why GES at the beginning of the school cannot pledge the teachers before the children, before parents, that teachers are not supposed to touch you in this way. If they do, report. You know, it's a simple thing that will protect everybody. Because if teachers pledge before children that we are not supposed to do this, and then they tell the children before the teachers that if somebody does this to you, this is the outlet. It somehow as a protective mechanism instantly. Because where there's darkness, you don't wish darkness away. You just put light there, and darkness ultimately disappears. And so I think we can do that. And then somebody asks about the goal of the comprehensive sexuality education. It's supposed to help us lead healthy lives. Comprehensive sexuality education does not make you engineer, but it gives you the enabling environment to thrive. And so that is what it seeks to do. And a society actually has a responsibility to prepare the youth with comprehensive sexuality education that gives them the tool they need to make healthy decisions.
I have a follow-up question on this one from our good friend Dr. Angela Jamnabwaji. She says that why can't we do our own sex education? Can't we develop our own curriculum?
Well, of course, we are developing our own curriculum, but just with support from outsiders.
Do we need that support?
Well, which section of our economy don't we get support?
So let's stop that from somewhere.
Well,
we can change that from how we educate the next generation.
Yeah, we can stop that if we actually stop and invest adequately in the human resource, because the human capital is what generates our capital. And so if we're not adequately investing in our human capital, then we'll get people coming to mine our gold, because productivity is what brings capital. And so if we stop and get productive, then we can be self-sustaining. Otherwise, we depend on everybody for everything.
Dr. Letitia Adledapia, thank you very much for joining us. She had to answer to a number of questions that were put to her. This message is from Linda Ofori-Kwafo. She is head of Ghana Integrity Initiative. She says, CSE is a no. My kids are mine, and we will fight this with our last blood. Interesting comments there, Kofi.
So see, I've agreed with Doc all this time, except the last statement she made about what area of our lives don't we take support from. This is exactly what the president is trying to change when he says Ghana Beyond Aid. This mindset that even when it comes to raising my children on sexuality, I need some white person from somewhere to come and tell me what to do is totally terrible. No, excuse me.
I said the manual is ours.
Please.
You know, we developed the manual. We had the in-house
so
consultant
let me retrieve
that developed the
time.
manual.
Let me retrieve my time.
Is there support?
It's a global context. It's a global concept.
I was going to make exactly the point Angela made. Number one, let this be drilled into every person in government, starting with Doc. We absolutely don't need any aid when it comes to developing sexual education for our kids. If we can't do anything at all in this country, we can figure out what to teach our kids that's culturally and properly appropriate.
Then in that case, let's also get our children immunized with our monies, because our children are ours.
I absolutely think so.
Exactly.
But
I don't out of this world.
Okay, I'm getting worked up. But listen. A country that buys 5.7 liter V8s for politicians to run around a town in should be able to pay for the immunization of all its children. And I absolutely insist again, we don't need PPAG, IPPF with their clear agenda to come and tell us what content to put in the sexual and reproductive education of our children. We don't. And I absolutely think that when it comes to developing this curriculum, we should remove our head, unstick it from this terrible manual, and think originally and figure out how we're going to deal with the things here. If we can't do anything at all, can't we decide what to teach our kids? I mean, that's so distressing.
She says we should call it a healthy, happy, and hot document so that we don't bow to UNESCO and UNFPA.
No, look, let's not trivialize this thing, because look, like I said, and we don't have time. There is an agenda behind this. It's a Trojan horse. So let's not play with it. And I'm saying that even if there was not, look, there are things we should do for ourselves if you're self-respecting people.
Totally,
so please, we should know what we want to teach our children regarding these sensitive things. But look, the real issue is here.
Feed them first.
If you want, of course we should be able to feed our kids. Otherwise, who are you? You shouldn't have kids.
So, Kofi, we need to wrap up.
Okay, wrapping up. I thought I was going to wrap up.
Okay, you have 10 seconds to do
I will wrap up 10 seconds. You can teach sex education without teaching this kind of stuff. All right. What is the problem is the conditioning for people, especially children, to be accepting of these alternative and dangerous lifestyles. Okay. People should keep their stuff in their bedrooms.
Thank you, Kofi Bentil. Kobe.
Okay, so my concluding statements. Sometimes we need to stick with the facts. Sometimes we need to stick with the available facts. The fact is, the Green Book, the guideline, is what we are supposed to be talking about. The manual will just lead us down rabbit holes, chasing conspiracy theories. So please, this entire conversation should be about the guidelines.
Get rid of the manual.
Should be about the guidelines. The manual is one of the resources.
We should get rid
there
of
are
it.
There are many resources out there.
So
we do not.
One of my guests have been able to make final comments without someone else.
In any, hold on. Let me land.
Thank you very much.
It's part of our comprehensive sexuality.
Please, let me land.
Keep quiet.
Let me land.
Please allow Kobe to land. No, let's allow Kobe to land.
In any exercise, right? You don't need to reinvent the wheel.
Okay.
If you are building a car, you don't need to think about reinventing wheels. No. You can use the existing designs of wheels and build on that. And that is exactly what is being done. We are looking at manuals, we are looking at resources. As a research analyst, you do that all the time. So I don't know why you are being...
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Spend $6,000 and above and get a 2-night stay with spa treatment at Royal Senchi. $3,000 and get a 1-night stay at Royal Senchi. Spend $1,000, get a $100 voucher. Spend $500, get a $50 voucher. Or you spend 500 Ghana cedis on a single transaction in Ghana, you get a 50 cedi voucher. This is what you get when you get the Stanbic Money Wallet card, the only card that gives you 5 currencies at the same time. Just load up to 5 currencies: British pounds, US dollars, euros, South African rand, and Ghana cedis, and shop or transact business anywhere. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Stanbic Bank GH for more information. Offer is valid whilst rewards last in October 2019. The Youth Employment Agency is launching its 4 new modules. The initiatives are Job Center, Artisan Directory, Regional Flagship Programs, Work Abroad. Tomorrow, Wednesday, 2nd October 2019, at the BOG Auditorium, University of Ghana, Legon at 9 a.m. From the 1st of August to the 30th of September, Kingdom Books and Stationery is giving a generous 10 to 50% discount on all school items like textbooks, pens, pencils, erasers, exercise books, and much more across all our branches in Accra, Tema, Kumasi, Takade, and Cape Coast.